Hey guys, want to do a little football video?
Play action fakes it for passing zone. Yes, touchdown.
Hi, and welcome to Genos Picks, where I'm not even going to waste your time or my breath telling you it's in my kitchen. Remember that from Cheers? And it's here for no other reason than this is when I've been getting to them. And I can't apologize because between all the beautiful content we've given you this week alone, between the football show on Thursday and Gum Friday today on Patreon, you're not missing a single day of content this week if you subscribe. We went a perfect 5 for 5, and maybe I do say a perfect 5 for 5, so I could say perfect. Because I sure wasn't last week, because once again, Kid Mediocre went 2-2, and I'm holding steady at 21-23, where I seem to always be on Black Friday. But hey, if you follow the In Hot Water Football Show, you were at least 2-1. Because if you tailed me or Steve, you went 2-1. And if you did what we said, and said, hey, follow Garrett, because he's good one week and bad the next, Garrett went a perfect 3-0. So you're sitting on a shit ton of cash, okay? And maybe you didn't, because you're not sub to Compound Media. Yeah, keep paying all that money for cable. And ESPN, we're in between college football, thank God. They're trying to sell you on the NBA, and Fox Sports is another great channel where the younger sister of NFL legend Jason Taylor is trying to tell you that the Colts hiring of Jeff Saturday, that's the NFL letting untalented people cut corners. Yeah. Keep watching that garbage when you could be watching In Hot Water Football Show, where even when our picks are right, they're so very wrong. Let's get to these 4 picks, which might be wrong. But you know I'm right. My first pick, the Ravens are laying 4 to the Jags in Jacksonville. Sure, the Ravens were only able to muster 13 points against the Panthers last week in Baltimore, but it still allowed them to win, but not cover 13-3. Now, you would have thought they would have won by more against a team led by the man who, I'm telling you, started his last game for the Panthers and quite possibly ever in the NFL, Baker Mayfield. So why didn't the Ravens put up more in fucking cover for us? Because they were facing something that blew even more than Baker Mayfield, people. 20-mile-an-hour winds. Well, the weather won't be much of a factor this weekend in Jacksonville, where not only will the Ravens thrive, but maybe Mayfield will too in the future, because that's where he should go for an early retirement. He's now the 3rd-string quarterback in Carolina, and maybe he should fucking look into some houses there in Jacksonville. And he won't even need to bring sunblock, because his face is used to being beet red every Monday after performances like last week. The Ravens are a far better team than the Jags. Take those birds and lay the 4. My next pick, the Seahawks are giving 3 and a hook to the Raiders in Seattle. All right, look, fun fact, Pete Carroll was named head coach of the fucking Seahawks in 2010, where he led them immediately to the playoffs. Sure, they went 7-9, but they beat, I forget who the Saints with Beastquake. Okay, well, that was the same year, 2010, when Josh McDaniels was fired mid-season by the Broncos after he took over in 2009 and immediately traded up to get Tim Tebow. I guess the virgin coach wanted a virgin QB, which is ironic because moving up in the draft for Tebow fucked over the entire city of Denver for 5 years. So yeah, by 2010, McDaniels had lost the clubhouse. Well, the good news is, as I've said before, McDaniels can't lose the clubhouse because you can't lose something you never had. I get that now, Tara. I get that. I'm sorry. The locker room still belongs to Rick Bisaccia. You know, the special team coach in Green Bay right now, while the Raiders suffer along with special needs coach Josh McDaniel. Sorry, Josh. No hug for you at the end of this game, as Carroll easily outcoaches you and your Raiders. Take the Seahawks and lay the 3 and a hook on my boy Geno. I'm probably going to regret this, 6, I know. My next pick, the Chargers are giving 3 to the Cards in the desert. Maybe I'm being hard on Joy Taylor, because I would kill for the Chargers to stop using the same NFL model to hire coaches, and it always proves to be disappointing. Instead, they play by the book, and they shell out a ton of money this past 2 seasons for former defensive coordinator Brandon Staley from the Rams, which all he did was come over to the Chargers and have one of the worst defenses in the league. They had the worst run defense last year overall. I can't stand it. Not only do I wish the Chargers had cut corners in the offseason, I wish they would cut corners mid-season, namely J.C. Jackson, another overpaid free agent that the league pointed to as the top available one this season. How did he do? He got benched, then he went out with a season-ending injury. See, he needs to go. Okay, he needs to go so it will send a message to the Chargers still fucking usable and maybe salvageable cornerbacks like Asante Samuel Jr., that when an NFL corner leaves a big spread for his man, you get fired, as opposed to Joy Taylor, who used that same hugely spread position to get hired by Fox Sports. Yeah, I like that joke too. But no matter how funny you may have found that joke, nothing is nearly as funny as the Chargers' unofficial mascot, Boltman, who made his second straight appearance on the In Hot Water Football Show. Take a peek at this week's and get all the other games I didn't get to before we get to Monday night. Oh, and in this one, take the Bolts. Because if they win, I am thrilled. If they don't cover, and they lose, one more reason to cut corners next season. Mainly this dope who's become staler, not staley. Take the Chargers, lay the 3. Which brings me to my double your money Monday night bet, people. The Colts are giving 2 and a hook to the Steelers in Indy. You know where this is going. Wow, if we learned anything in the past 2 weeks after watching the Colts, it's that Joy Taylor is everything that's wrong with sports programming. Is she hot? I think so. Is she knowledgeable about sports? I can even give her that. But as I said earlier, the younger sister of former NFL superstar Jason Taylor is guilty of exactly what she accuses Colts interim head coach Jeff Saturday of, not passing through the right channels to get the job, okay? And it's that unearned arrogance that makes it so much easier to pass through the fucking channel that she's on and keep going right to Compound Media and watch the In Hot Water Football Show. Maybe Saturday is the new fucking model for Sundays, as he is a modern day Da Vinci. Did you know this? Because speaking of Joy Taylor, Da Vinci's mother was a whore. And as a result, he didn't go to the same fine schools as the artists of his time, which led him to, speaking of Joy Taylor, think outside a huge box that everyone was used to stuffing their ideas into and break the mold. That is what Jeff Saturday brings to the Colts. Innovation that prevents him from falling into the same thinking everyone else in the league uses, and maybe even not allow you to fucking outcoach him, because you don't know where he's going. I love the Colts in this one. He can actually take down Tomlin. Take the Colts and lay the 2 and a hook. Those are Geno's picks.